So this week we're going to continue with our HTML and CSS. And last time we were on CodePen and we started creating a page. And I'd just like to show you perhaps the best resource for learning HTML and CSS online, which is W3, which stands for www, World Wide Web, schools.com. And this is the kind of authoritative reference for all things HTML and CSS. So you'll notice they give an HTML example here. So it says doctype HTML. You don't, strictly speaking, need that at the top, but most web pages start with that. And then it starts reading HTML, and you'll notice right at the bottom it stops reading HTML. You'll notice here they haven't included head tags. So all they've done is put title and close title and put in HTML tutorial as the title of this particular HTML example. So what happens is that your browser is kind of intelligent and kind of knows that that title goes in the head. So sometimes you can get away with leaving tags out. It's probably not a good idea, especially if you're putting lots of stuff in the head. Try not to leave that out, but you can see here that they have done here. But obviously the body tag here and closing the body tag. And this is a heading and this is a paragraph. And that's basically what we looked at last time. So I'd like to start on a little bit of CSS this week. Now CSS, I'm just going to scroll down on this page. Here we have a CSS example. And this would normally go inside style tags in the head. So if you were coding this just on Notepad or something like that, it would go inside style tags on in the head, or it would be an include file. So, but this is what CSS looks like. So it says here body, in other words, and that refers to, if we look at the top here with our HTML example, that refers to the body tags here. In other words, what it's doing is it's saying what the body must look like. And the body, if you remember, is basically the web page itself, what you see on the screen. And it's saying that inside those curly braces, it's going to tell you about the background color. Then it has a colon, it lists a color, and it ends in a semicolon. And you'll notice that pattern is repeated. This one, H1, tells you how H1, so this heading style, what's that going to look like? Well, it's going to be color, and you'll notice the American spelling of color. HTML, CSS is all in American English. So the color is going to be white and it's going to align to the center. And the paragraph, which tells you what your paragraph is going to look like, the font family is Verdana. And the font size will be 20 pixels. So if you put this into your web browser, and I'm just going to do that quickly, I'm going to copy all of that code. And here's the thing about copying. There's no shame in copying what you like on the internet. Obviously, your content is going to be different, but copying design is, well, it's what all designers do. So all the designers I know have these massive scrapbooks and things, and you know, when they're thinking about a design, they'll say, "Oh, I want this to look like that," and it might be a fabric that they have stored, and that's going to be the inspiration for this element of the design. And then for another element, they'll copy something else. So copying is not illegal. What I've just done, copy and paste here, I'm going to change all the details. It's quite hard to remember the exact syntax. So confession time, you know, I don't remember exactly how to do all of this all the time. Background color, text align, you know, is it a line? You know, do I put a little dash there? I can't remember that exactly. So what I do is I just go on to w3schools.com. I copy something like this and then change the details to suit me. And that's perfectly okay. So I'm going to go now to my CodePen page that I opened earlier, that we were working on earlier. And I'm just going to paste that in the CSS. And let's see what it does to our page here. And you'll notice immediately what it's done is it's turned the background color light blue. It's changed H1, which is here, my heading, to the color of the text is white and it's aligned to the center. And it's changed the paragraph to font Verdana. You can see the change of fonts there with a particular size. Now, if I go and make that 15 pixels, you'll notice my font there gets smaller. And if I change light blue to, let's try dark blue, you'll notice it does that as well. Now, I could go in here and I've got the color white here for my H1 tags. What I could do is I could do it also for my paragraph tags, so that my paragraphs also are in the font color changes to white. So, quite simply, I've just added a few instructions in CSS and it's changed the look and design of my page. And you'll notice now, all I need to do is go and edit the CSS to change everything on my page. If I change the H1 CSS here, change the color of it, maybe to orange, it's going to change the color all over. If I change the dark blue here, it's going to change it on the whole page. So, very powerful tool for making design changes at any time and making them a lot simpler to achieve. So what I'm going to urge you to do is, as you develop and work on your web page, just go back, go through, for example, I want to learn some CSS, and you'll notice I've got all kinds of, well, what about, okay, CSS fonts. So I click on that, and it tells me the difference between serif and sans serif, the different fonts, font families, and it tells me how to handle that in my web page. Okay. So if you want to look at borders, and you'll see some examples there of what you would do, or colors, backgrounds, use some CSS here. Just copy, paste in, and try and get your web page to look really, really snazzy. For this task, which is task 30 that you're uploading, again, just take a screenshot, including some CSS that you've added, and upload that for task 30. You don't have to do terribly much. What I've done here, quite simple, maybe not that effective, but fairly effective. And next time, we'll learn a little bit more, a few more HTML tags, and a little bit more that you can do with CSS.